Hello, this video is not sponsored. I bought this CaDA brand, Kitty's Grocery Store, sometimes referred to as the Japanese grocery store. It has 921 pieces. The retail price is $60 US, but I paid $50 for it on Amazon. And that was without any coupons. As of the recording of this video, it's $45 US there. The base size of this is 19 studs by 17 studs. So it has a 16 by 16 plate as the base, and then they extend out a little bit from there. And it does have lights inside as well. Of course, I will show you the interior detail, but this just gives you a general idea of what it's going to look like from the outside with the lights in your space turned down a little bit. It's powered by USB, and you'll see a USB power pack that I'm using around the back. It just has a USB-A connector for that. And there is no battery box included in this set if you want to use AA's or anything like that. It's just expecting you to use, pretty much the world standard for powering low voltage devices these days. Should be pretty easy to get these. Now, there's a button on the USB-A dongle right there, which allows it to cycle between different modes of light because, well, you'll see what type of lighting they actually use inside of there. Unfortunately, you do have to push the button 8 times to get it to just solid. Solid is definitely the most useful. The build for this felt pretty good to me. The general order of operations felt good and everything. I do need to warn you about a couple of things right from the start, though. Pretty much every decoration you see here is done with a sticker. So if you strongly dislike stickers, just move on, please. This is not for you. I don't recommend it for you if you can't stand stickers. Stickers are extremely common in low-end model building, and it ggets worse it gets much more difficult than that with the standard in the world of model building with water slide decals and even dry transfers. But I fully understand that in the brick building space, stickers are much maligned. But they're here, and there are a lot of them. I personally did not have a problem with them. They are nice and thin, and the vinyl itself is thin and flexible. Generally didn't have trouble with a lot of bubbles on them. I did apply one sticker incorrectly at first. It was this one. I messed up on it and I had to pull the whole thing off. I was worried about that. Surprisingly, it actually survived being pulled off in spite of the fact that it's very thin. Generally, the quality here is good. If you're not familiar with CaDA pieces, they do make their own parts in-house, and their parts are strong and very dense. They feel much more dense than most brands' brick-built pieces like this. So when you have a certain number of them in your hand, you can just feel the weight. You can feel the mass. When you drop them on the table, you can hear the sound. You can hear the weight of them. So here's my little power pack back there. But this has some nice features to it. Like you can open this up and there's just a little suggestion of a power panel back there. You can already see that this is starting to move. I'm not going to finish opening that up the rest of the way just yet, but we'll get there. Some nice exterior details are built up even around the sides that are not particularly camera friendly. This doesn't look bad. It looks plain around that side, but doesn't look bad. Different textures. Oops, didn't set this up. That's my bad. What exactly did I do there? I did something wrong with that. I need to check on the other side. This is a retractable awning. That was interesting and unexpected. Okay, right there. And also this upper level is retractable. So all of this can just be pushed right in. And there's a koi pond up there. Again, all just one big sticker right there. But when I slide this out, then you can see there's a nice little tea ceremony going on. That's cool. It's not a whole lot of space, but I appreciate the dynamism of it. So you get access to the interior without having to open the whole thing up. And with that, it is time to start accessing the main area of the interior. This all just swings right on out. There's a combination of brick-built details and, once again, the use of stickers for decorations. And inside, you can see that it's more of like a general store. And I do apologize if you're seeing a little bit of pulsating for the lights. That's just a factor of the shutter speed of the camera relative to the blink rate of the switching power supply for the LEDs. You don't see that in person. You don't see it at all unless you have superhuman eyes. So this is really like a general store. I guess grocery store isn't the best term for it. You can't buy a lot of food here other than probably stuff in mixes, dry mixes and things. So this is the register over here. It's Kitty's grocery store. So you've got multiple cat references inside of here. And most of the stuff that you can buy is just over here. It's very open. You know, it's designed to have multiple figures browsing around inside. It is figure scaled, maybe just a little bit large for figure scaled. Notice over here, you've got a staircase. There's a drawer that's built into that. And they've got this one tile with a sticker on it that says netbook. That's a little weak there. This is done with, again, just one single sticker for the rug detail there. And then there's a ladder that goes up to the next level. And you can see that bottom rung right there is malformed. This is the first time I've gotten probably a half dozen CaDA sets or something. Yeah, probably about a half dozen. This is the first time I've gotten a malformed piece from them. And that one is kind of obvious right there at the bottom. There's actually one other rung that's a little bit malformed in there as well. So that was not the most fun thing to see. I've heard that some folks have had trouble getting customer support for these sets. I might as well just cover that right now. If they buy them from other brands, like on Amazon, sometimes they're sold by other companies entirely. If you do need customer support, just contact CaDA directly. I have heard from multiple consumers who are not sponsored who have successfully contacted CaDA customer support in the past and gotten replacement parts without any issue. It depends on what region you're in if they operate there, but definitely that's going to be your best bet and the first place to check. And let me tell you, the number one thing that I don't like about this set is the fact that the floors are pretty much permanently attached. I mean, you can start to take things apart, but they're really not intended to be taken apart. So if you want to get easier access in here, tough. Fortunately, it does open up plenty. I mean, there is enough space to get in there and to see in there for sure, but there are no studs on the ground if you want to attach your own figures in there. And yeah, if I really wanted to just see it from the top, see some of the details that are a little kind of hidden, little Easter egg things, that's just not available. This is really it. And the same thing goes for this up here. If I want to access this space, if I want to pull this top little section out entirely, that's just it. That's all you get. It will go to here. Nothing more than that. I really wish that I could pull this off. I mean, I can do this, but there's nothing to see there. Nothing to see here. It doesn't really help. If I slide this out, then it's not able to rotate up as much. And again, there's just very little hole, very little realistic access for a human being. So what you see here is what you get. And also the lead over here is a little bit short. This could be a little bit longer to give me more room to hide the wires out of the space. I did say that I would show you what type of lights it used. You might have seen it, but it's just using a single length of fairy light in there that you just wrap around the top of the ground floor, and it works fine. I mean, the lighting looks good. Very, very warm color. Oh yeah, you get the sliding door over here. I forgot to show. It's just interesting. It's different. It's a very low cost way to do it. High availability of fairy lights, you know. This also slides here, but there's no alternate pane for it. So it's always going to be open either way. These are the leftover pieces. Yes, these tools are on just a standard plastic sprue. You just rotate them to get them to come off. And this is their style of brick separator. And here's one of the sticker sheets, which looks way bigger than it actually is, because look how much spacing there is. All the buffer zones in there are huge. So if this was, all tightened down, it would be significantly smaller than this. But this is the white backed one. They also have this clear backed one, which again has far less actual sticker coverage on it, actual stickers that you use, than the size of the sheet implies. Again, though, if you hate stickers, obviously do not buy this, pass on it altogether. I personally feel like the set benefits from having those decorations as opposed to, thinking about buying the set and then just not applying the stickers at all. If you want to do that, it's okay, but I really feel like you lose a lot of the charm of this if you have none of the decorations on there. Again, the retail price of this is $60 US for 921 pieces. I paid $45 on Amazon. It seems to normally be, without any coupons, seems to normally be $50 on Amazon in the US. And I definitely feel like I got my money's worth there, even without the lighting, just for the amount of stuff here. And again, like I said, their plastic, CaDA's plastics are beefy. You can feel the weight, you can feel the mass here, but just the level of detail in it and how charming it looks on the outside, I think is very nice. A couple of things that are off. Mostly, number one, just this what it looks like, what the wire looks like back here, if you want to hide it. Also the fact that it is routed out the side like this. If you want to put another small little building right next to this, they have a series of these. You have to kind of create a little bit of extra space. You have to create some alleyway space or do some modifications to it. You can swap some things around, I suppose, but it's just not the most convenient. You definitely don't want to pinch this because it's relatively thick. The insulation is relatively thick there, with relatively thick wires for low resistance. But all in all, it looks good. I think I was going to give you a warning earlier on that I forgot to do, which was that the digital instructions may be different than the physical instructions, or may not go with the version of set that you get. At least that was the case for me. I downloaded digital instructions off of CaDA's own website, and it did not match. The parts that I had did not match how exactly this one got together, because this has been updated at some point. There was a running production update, which is nice when companies fix things that might be wrong. They make things better with a given product over time, but then it does leave confusion, and I wasn't able to find the correct version. I was not able to find the correct version to go with this particular set online. But fortunately, the paper instructions are just fine and printed nicely. Oh, that's one other last thing about those paper instructions. This set has a lot of dark brown in it. And I did find, at least with my lighting in my building space, it was difficult to distinguish dark brown from regular brown. And that's regular brown right there. But the dark brown is just so dark that it almost reads as black, and it's kind of hard to see the edges. They do highlight parts when you're putting new parts in, but I still had a little bit of difficulty with that, just with the reference. So that's something to be aware of, and something that a number of companies have gotten wrong over the years. Overall, I'm really happy with this thing, though. I really spent most of my time talking about any flaws that I could find on it. But at the end of the day, I'm happy with it. It makes me happy. I like it. I like seeing it. I like the little bit of lighting there. Again, sorry that you're not able to see it as cleanly as the human eye does see it, but I'm really happy with this, and I personally definitely will be buying more of these. This was kind of a test. It's my first one of these to purchase, my first building set, set of an actual building structure from CaDA, and I'm convinced I will definitely try out, because they just recently, as of the recording of this video, just recently unveiled another new one of these. Their most expensive yet, with a retail price of $90. I will try that one out once it becomes available on Amazon. We'll see what the actual retail price ends up being. But for now, again, thank you for watching. I'm going to be keeping this and comparing it to future ones. I'm personally happy with my purchase, but there are some caveats here. And for the last time, if you hate stickers, bye.